Hello world, welcome back to CyberCreed. Today in this video we are going to take a look about web scraping with Python. So in this video what I will be doing is I will be trying to explain you how you can basically scrape the data that is present on any website and you can use it for any purpose. The purpose can be basically from data science, it can be from cybersecurity or just some information gathering. It can be any of this. So we are going to take a look at some of the libraries that we have in Python that are going to help us do this task. And here I have opened the website where you can find different problems solution in different languages. So let's say there are multiple of programs that are basically asked in competitive programming. So in this website there is list of all those questions, and the most interesting thing here is that one solution is just written in all the possible languages that they can be written. So let me show you how. So let's open up this Fizzbuzz, and as you can see here the site is loading. So here you can see that these are the languages that our code is basically written in. So here is all the list of the languages, and if you want to see the code, here you can see the code starting from here. So this is very interesting website where you can find single problems code written in multiple solutions. So we are going to scrap this website, and the task here is to find all the links. So first of all we need to find all the questions with their respective links, and then we are going to go to all those links and get all the text from those websites. So we are going to save all the C code and then C language, or the Java code in Java language, and everything's like that. So this is the objective of this video. So if you are interested here, let's just start this video. And yes, if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, because creating this video takes lots of effort to build. So yes, a like and sub will be appreciated. So let's start by looking at the very basic thing, that is the two libraries that we are going to use. So the two libraries that we are using here is, first is request and second is Beautiful Soup. So the work of request library is to get the data from that website. So here we are requesting data from the website. So what we do with request, so first of all we specify the URL. So here in this case we have this URL, and the URL where we have the list of all the problems. So we are basically specifying this path. So let me just make it here. So here is basically the URL. Then here we are writing r is equal to request.get. So here we are getting all the contents that are present in that website. So we have got all the content in the website that you are going to see once you have done inspect elements. So if I simply run this, let me show you, and then if I just run, okay, just for now let me just comment this and let's run this, and let me print what is inside R. So if I'm going to print it, it is just going to be the response that you get. So this response 200, what is it? So this response 200 basically says that everything in your code perfectly well, there's no problem in the code, and the website have responded you the legit response or legit data to you. So if you want to see what is the content, so you can just write r.content, and here you can see the same thing that you are going to see when you are just doing view inspect element or view page source. So that is all the elements that you are going to see here. But here you can see that there is somewhere head, class, div, and all the HTML things, but it is not readable. We can't simply read and figure out what is written inside it. Yes, we can do, but it is going to take more and more of our time, which is not good in programming, of course. So that is why we have something known as Beautiful Soup. So the work of Beautiful Soup is to just prettify the content that we get from the website and just show us in more human readable form. So we create a soup object. So we are using Beautiful Soup, and we are passing this all the gibberish text that you can see here, which is basically an HTML, to this. And here we are using HTML5 lib parser. So there are multiple type of parser, you can use any, but the most popular and affordable one is basically HTML5 lib. And once the soup is created, you can see the code in much and more prettified way. So if you want to see the code in more prettified way, you can just say the object of soup.prettify. So now here you can see that it is now more human readable. So till now we have got the page from the internet, and we have basically we are basically going to use them in our code. So what's next? So once all of these are here, now what is our objective? The main objective of our project is to get all the URLs from the website. So the first step that you should do in order to do that, so here you can see that here are all the links of the question from where we want to get the question as well as the link. So but here you can see that there are a way to contribute. So first of all, let's go to more, so that on this page you can get all the complete list of the questions that they currently have. So let's me open up this page. So if I click on 500, which means just show me all the 500 questions in a single page. So here you can see the list of all the questions that are available here, like KD tree, truncated file, and all of these. So what we have to do, the first thing in web scraping is to just inspect element. So what you can press Ctrl+Shift+I to inspect element, as well as you can just press F12 key from your keyboard if you are in Chrome to open up this inspect element. So once this inspect element is up here, you have to find the place that is going to cover all of these in a single selection. So let me show you what I mean. So here you can see that if I am selecting this, this is just selecting the previous. If I am hovering over to this, it is just selecting the B, which is bold tag. But if I go and select here, it is selecting all previous, result, and all the single column, which is basically a div. But as soon as I do here or click here, you can see that it is selecting all the things that we need. So it is basically going to select all the questions that it has. So this is our first task in web scraping, is to find first the block where all the contents are actually present. So like this you can basically find all the elements that you are basically going to need, and then you have to just simply copy this, the name. So here if I just copy this, so here you can see the same thing, MW content LTR, and if I go here, it is also MW content text, I think. So let's just copy this and let's change it out. And at the first you have to specify the tag. So here you can see that it is a div tag and it have ID. It is not the class as we have seen in our previous case. So we have to say that ID is equal to this. So it is basically ID. So here instead of class you have to say ID, and let's see what it is going to throw us. So if I print table, it is going to give me all the contents that are present within the block that we have selected. So this is again still the gibberish which is written in HTML, but what if you want to get only the text part, you don't care about HTML? So doing that is pretty much very easy. You can just iterate throughout all the tables and then just say .text. So let me show you how it can be done. So for I in table, just iterate throughout the list. So these are basically lists. So if you are familiar with Python, you know about list, or if you are not familiar with Python, you basically know the concept of array. So this is basically an array which contains all of these. So we are iterating throughout the elements inside this array. And if I press I dot, so first of all, let's just go with I. So here you can see that if I am going with just I, you are going to see all the different tags with HTML. But if I just do I dot text, you can just simply see what are the text that are present in this website and nothing gibberish. So here you can see this is the text which is basically written on the top of the website, and this is recent updates. This is basically all the things that are mentioned in our website. So this is how this works. First of all, you basically select the things, and then you are basically going to see all the beautified content with just using .text. So let's discuss in more about .findAll. So .findAll is going to this particular HTML and going to find all the things that you have specified, and as it is find all, so there are find all and find underscore all. There's little bit of different in all of them. So find all is going to find all of them and create a list of it. So if it is a list, you have to iterate through each of the elements. But here as you can see that we are doing the same. We are iterating throughout all the list, and we are simply getting the text which is present here. So let me just simply copy. So I think we have forgot to change the URL. So let me just change the URL. That's why it was not working on the first place. So web scraping is dependent on internet. So it also varies from your internet connection. If your internet connection is fast, the web scraping process is going to be pretty much very fast. But if it is slow, it is going to take time. So here, if I run this cell, and again let's print the text. Now here you can see the name of all the codes that were present, like KD tree. You can see here KD tree, truncate file, tokenize a string. All of these are now being shown here. So this is how you can basically grab all the text from the website. So what we did very first, we just entered the URL. So we just entered the URL. Then we created soup object. So soup object is basically like beautifying the HTML so that we can process things like selecting the div, selecting with the ID, selecting with class, and different things like that. So we have done that. We have created a soup. And if you want to just simply get the code, you can just say soup.prettify, and it is going to give the prettified version of the code to you. And then what we have done, we went to that website, we selected the, so here you can see that this is the box or container, whatever you can say that, where all our URLs are basically stored. So here we have done the same. We have collected the URLs, and then what we are going to do, we have simply printed it with dot text. We have iterated throughout our code, and we are just converting it to text. And then what we need to do, so we got to know how we are able to basically get all the text from that website, but all of these, if you click here, are URLs. So the next task of us is to find the URL. So how we are going to find the URL? So for finding URL, it is also pretty much easy. Let me just browse through my code and let me show you. So here you can see all the list of the code that we have. So to find the link, you have to basically use something known as A. So if you are familiar with HTML, you know that A is basically an anchor tag which is used to get links. So A and href. A is an anchor tag, and href is going to say that, hey, refer to this link for this type of text. So that is what we are going to do here. So if we just go a bit above, first of all, we need to find all the links. So for finding the links, we also have to repeat the same step. So if I simply click here, and now here I am going to select it. So here you can see that this is basically an anchor tag which is inside this TD of and here you can just simply click here, edit as HTML, so that you can basically get what is inside the HTML. So this is the TD tag. This is the thing you have to keep in mind, TD, and then here is the class name. So as we have did with our selecting all the names from this files, we are going to do the same with finding the URLs. So first of all, we have to find all TD with the class name this. So that is what we are doing here. Soup.find all TD. TD means the table definition. Then here we are specifying the class underscore. Yes, so this is one more important fact, class underscore. Why we are using class underscore, not just class? Because class is basically predefined keyword in our Python programming language, so we cannot write class. So if I'm going to write class, you can see that it is going to change color. So like here it is green in color, but as soon as we press underscore, it is completely changed, because the class is a keyword, so we cannot basically use it inside a function. So we are using it class underscore, and then we are specifying the class name. So here you can see that the class name is swtype underscore wpg, and that is the same written here. So we have got all the links by writing the single command, links.findAll. But if I'm going to print this links, this is not the most prettified version of the link. As you can see, like TD class this, and then here it is writing KD tree, and then SVG, and then here is officially the link that is going to be started. So this .findAll is going to select all the HTML within that, whatever you have specified. It is just going to compress that HTML and save it inside the variable that you are currently working with. And here we have to again iterate throughout all of those variables, and we have to just select the anchor tag as well as their links. So what we are going to do here, so here I wrote for links in links print links.text. So we are iterating throughout links, and we are printing the text. So this, I think we are basically done, so I will skip this part. So here if you see the links type, it is basically a beautiful soup dot bs4 is basically for beautiful soup version 4 dot element dot result set. So it is result set, which means that it is collection of something, so we have to iterate throughout it. So we are iterating using for ln in links. So it is going to go through all the variables, all the elements that are present in our links variable, which basically means it is going to go through all the links which are present in our links list, not the link list. So link is going to find all the links. If I simply run here, you are going to see it is going to state the KD tree link, the truncated file link, and all of those different type of links. So here temp is equal to ln.find a. So I told you, like, there are find all and find, there is difference. So find all is going to return you the list after finding all the different things with that same match, whereas find is just going to find the topmost which is present here. So find is simply like integer, whereas find all is a collection of list of integer. So you can simply think something like that. Find is just 4, and whereas find all is like array which is containing an element 4, or it can even contain multiple elements. So find underscore all can contain multiple elements, but find is just going to have single element there. And then we are simply using the href, which means we are looking for the key with href. So this is basically a dictionary. The temp now have become a dictionary, which is going to contain an anchor tag, and anchor tag, from anchor tag we are selecting the attribute href. So this is how you basically extract the URL. So here if you see, all the URLs are like /wiki/kdtree. So once you see that, you don't think that it is an URL, is it? No, it does not seems like one, because URL start from like www. So this is because you are on the same website. So what you do when you are on same website, you do /index and you go through that website. On the same website you go to the /index or /home or /login or whatever. So that is why all the links are in this type. So if I just simply go to here, and you can also see that it is like k3, but it is going to add the URL. So if you want to get the exact URL, what you can do, that we are also going to do, we are going to add the base URL, which means the name of the site, and then plus this URL. So we can just simply click here and go to that particular website. So let's do that. So here we are just finding the title of the site if we actually need it in some cases. So I think I have already explained .text what it is going to do. It is just going to give the text of the site. Now here we need to store the program name as well as the URL. So the best thing to use here will be a dictionary or a hash map if you are familiar with JavaScript or Python or Java. So in Python we have dictionary, which is going to store the key and value pair. So we are simply creating this URL dictionary here, and then here we are again just doing the same step, links data, which is going to contain the links of all the different files. Then as we have done above, we are iterating throughout all the link in the links, and we are getting the title. Title is equal to data.text. So title is going to get the text of the data. So let me explain you what it means. So it simply means that here, like KD tree is the title, and then the link is going to be the variable. So if we see here, this is KD tree, this is the text. So in .text you are going to see everything that is not HTML, which is simple text. So you are going to just get this KD tree from here. That is what we want. We want this KD tree and then this URL. So we are getting the title in title variable, and then we are getting the URL in temp data.find a, which is going to find the URL. Then what we are doing, we are simply saying URL title is equal to this. We are simply adding the base URL first, then we are adding the URL that is basically mentioned here, /wiki/kdtree. So here we are just concatenating both the strings together to make the complete URL. So if I am going to run this again, and now if I simply insert a shell below and see what is now present inside the URLs, you can now see like Persian coin is equal to this something like Persian noise and loop with this URL. So now here you can see that we have the complete URL. So let me run this again. So here you can see KD tree is equal to things like KD tree, all of these truncated file, tokenized string, and all the different things with accurate link. The link where you can just click once and you can go to the certain link. So if I just simply copy this link, KD tree, go to here, you can simply see the KD tree. And now here we can again do the web scraping, where we are going to just scrap the language as well as the data which is present inside the language, which is basically the code. So we are going to see that in most probably the next video. So here you can see that we have got the URL, but it is always better to store this in some type of data type, like you can save it in pandas data frame, which is basically very nice for data storage, or you can basically convert them into a CSV file. So we are going to take a look in a while of what we can do. So here is the URLs. So here what we are going to do, we are going to, so let's just say you are going to scrap this site from one link, and then there is another link. So you are storing in a dictionary, but in the next site when you go and scrap the data, it is going to be stored in another dictionary. So when you want to just keep on adding to the same dictionary, what you do, we just update. So previous link, so store the previous link as well as a new link. So for that we do test.update. So here the test is just the name of a variable. So you can just say dictionary1.update the latest dictionary that you got. So you can just store this. So here you can simply think that test is your main dictionary, where you are going to keep on updating with the new data that you are going to get in order to create basically a new large data set that you are going to use. So now once we have got all of these, now here is our turn to save them inside a data frame. So in order to convert them in a dictionary into a data frame, first of all we need to import pandas, which is basically used for converting into data frame and working in data frame. So then we are simply saying PD, which is basically the name of pandas library that we have imported, pandas.dataframe, convert it into data frame, and then we have to specify what we have to convert and what is going to be their attributes name, or you can basically say the row name of those. So here we are simply saying test.item. So test.item, what do you think it is going to give? It is going to give the links of the site that we have. So here is basically the question, and then here is basically the URL. So this is basically your key, and this is basically your value. So key is basically the name of the question, and the value is basically the URL. So test.items is going to give you all the URL, and then here we are giving the name of the column, so name and URL. And here you can see that in name we have the name of the program, which is perfectly fine, and then in URL we have the URL of the code that we want. So this is what we wanted. We have successfully scrapped this website, that was this website, and we are able to get all the question with their paired value of the link. So now the next task of us is to basically scrap all the links that are present inside this data frame with their questions, and then what we need to do is to get the different programming languages code into another database. So here you can see that here we are going to scrap this site. Like here the key is going to be the programming language name, like C, and the C code here. Then we are going to go to Java, then Java code here. Key is going to be the language and value is going to be the code. So this thing we are going to do in the next episode of this web scraping. And if you are basically interested and you think you can do it by yourself, it is highly recommended to do it by yourself. I will be uploading a video within a week, so you must go ahead and try to do it by yourself, because it is going to be awesome. So that is it for this video, and I hope that you have basically learned anything new. And if you have any doubts, you can just ask down in the comment. Join our Telegram group, join our Discord group. You can basically ask me doubts there too, because there I can instantly reply you, like if you are having any doubt or some of the things are not working. So that is it for this video. And yes, creating this video takes lots of effort and time, so it will be great help if you can just hit that like button as well as subscribe to this channel. So thanks for watching.